Hello friends, in this video we will learn about data visualization. So we will import one library named matplotlib.pyplot. Here mat stands for mathematics, plot is to draw any graph on xy plane, lib stands for library. Now we are having py. Py stands for Python, plot to draw a graph on the two-dimensional plane. So here I can give alias name like plt. So I can run this command. It successfully run here. Then I can give two values for x-axis and y-axis respectively. So it's having 2, 4, 6, 7, 10, 25, 37, 36, 59. Keeping in mind that you are having equal number of points in both axes, x marks and subject. I'm going to run this command and then execute the second command, because we have given this alias as plt, so I'll have to use everywhere this plt. So plt is the alias name of matplotlib.pyplot. So in this section I am having marks, that is x-axis, subject, that is y-axis, and then color is equal to blue, line style, that define the line style of this curve, and then dashed. If I will not include this line style, if it will create a whole line. Then line width, that is equal to 13, then marker asterisk, and what's the size of color of this marker, that is defined by yellow, and then marker size, that is 22. And I am going to define this as the title of the graph, that is my first codingle graph. So along with this I have given x label and as a marks, you can see here, over here, and I am also using y-axis as a subject, you can see over here. So then we can have the title x-axis and y-axis. Suppose I change the color of this graph, let's say red this time. So let's see what would be impact over the graph. So it's red now. Alright, so then I'm using the next graph. It is import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, x-axis and y-axis. So pyplot, plot xy, yellow, line dashed, and what is the limitation of y, that is defined by y limit. What is the lower and upper limit on x-axis, that is defined by y limit and x-axis. So I have defined these two limits to define the axis value of two axes. So now I am going to plot a graph on the physics graph. So this can be like blue also. Then I can run this again in order to change the color of the graph. Here it is. Next I am having the bar plot. So this bar plot will have the bar section here. So previously we were having plot, now it is having bar, and x and y values for the same. So time, speed and physics graph. So this time it's going to bar, and you can see respective values are represented over the x-axis and y-axis. Right? So in the next section I'm going to plot again. I'm skipping this line, and then I'm going to create this subplot for figure 12,8, and then IT section, ECE and CSE, and it will arrange with the length of IT section. Okay, so then it will define D for bandwidth for X and bandwidth for BR2. So I am going to create multi-bar on a sync graph. So this is here. So it will have the gray value, and gray value, and then it will have RGB values. And what is the edge color here? It is the line section. Okay, so I can include the font size and the bold for the same. Here I am having this IT section. In the next section I am going to create a scatter plot. In order to create a scatter plot, I'll have this scatter, SCATTER. So it will create a scatter or random values on the screen. So once I have given x-axis and y values, then it will have the y limit and x limit, and it will plot the scatter values on the screen. So this is done, and now I will have the scatter plot again with the change value. This time I am taking 10, it's 21, it's 13, it's 54, it's 8 or it's 60, and I can change the x limit to 80 as well, because my values are going starting from 10 to 60. So in this domain I can have 0 to 80 values limit, and 2 to 4, that is 0 to 8 for the y-axis respectively. So this time I will having this scatter plot. Now I am going to import one more library here that is called cburn with alias SNS. So the advantage of taking alias is you don't have to write cburn again and again in the upcoming code lines. So NSS dot s set, and then color codes should be true, and I am importing this graph. This time I'm not taking XY values, rather I am importing data set from Iris. It's predefined data set stored in cburn library. So first it will load the data set from cburn library and create matplot over the graph. So you can see that the sepal length, sepal weight, petal length, petal weight, and the respective values are having scatter plot and bar plot. Now in the upcoming line I'm going to find out what is the information of this iris data set. So this iris data set is having the following sections. These are columns name: sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, species, and how many null values are there. 150, 150, 150 means none of the given values are null. So this will it's showing the brief intro of my data set. Now I'm going to print iris dot head. So using this command I can have the top 5 rows of this data set, that is 0, 0 to 4, and I have having said that sepal length, petal length, species are the characteristics or column values of this iris data set. So this time I am going to create a bubble chart. So using matplot and numpy and random 40 values within the XYZ, I can create a scattered value and bubble values. Alright, so this is the bubble chart. This is how we create data or can have the prediction part on the data or can represent the data on XY plane. Thank you and happy learning.